So there's less than 4 full weeks of tennis left before the WTA finals in Singapore, and less than 7 full weeks of tennis left before the ATP World Tour finals in London. The Asian swing is well underway. Hello one and all, before we jump into a review of the last fortnight on the tennis tours and a preview of what is to come, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future videos. So the past 2 or 3 weeks have been that down period after the US Open where the vast majority of people know that tennis is still going on but struggle to actually keep track of it, whether that be because of inconvenient time zones or because the final Grand Slam of the season is over. It doesn't mean there haven't been tournaments of significance though, because we've already had 2 Premier 5 events on the women's side, and with the men there has been an almost Grand Slam-like exhibition weekend. Sarcasm, by the way. More on that at a later date. At the back end of a long, grueling season, aka now, many of the stars of the season begin either dropping off or conserving energy for the year's grand finale. And this means that the Asian swing can legitimately be described as the messiest section of the season. Yes, I know clay is dirt and dirt equals mess, but we're speaking figuratively, so it's okay. What this does mean is that there are more opportunities for underdogs and flat-out unexpected players to make a move and have a bit of an impact on the circuit. Over the past 2 weeks, we have seen 9 different champions, and none of them has been ranked inside the top 5. This is the Asian swing, and part and parcel of that is a lot of googling of pronunciations. Let's see how we do. The week before last, Jelena Ostapenko came out on top at the Korea Open, beating Beatriz Haddad-Maia. At the Guangzhou Open, Zhang Shui was triumphant over Alexandra Krunic. Caroline Wozniacki came away with the Pan-Pacific Open trophy, defeating Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Damir Dzumhur beat Fabio Fognini in the final of the St. Petersburg Open, and Peter Gacauchek defeated Benoit Paire for the title in Metz. And then moving on to last week, Caroline Garcia was victorious at the Wuhan Open, beating Ashley Barty. Katerina Bondarenko won her first WTA title in 9 years by upsetting number 2 seed Timea Babos in Tashkent. With the men, Denis Istomin won his 2nd ATP title with victory over Marcus Bagdatis in the Chengdu Open, and David Goffin rounded out the winners in Shenzhen with a victory over Alexander Dolgopolov. So I guess we'd better do a brief roundup. My WTA player of the fortnight may take you by surprise because it's Ashley Barty, who didn't actually come away with a trophy. She served for the championship twice against Caroline Garcia in Wuhan, but still lost that iffy battle in 3 sets. Now, there were other women who did notable things over the past fortnight. Caroline Wozniacki defended her title at the Pan-Pacific Open, which is impressive for anyone, let alone someone who hasn't really made that much of an impact on a big stage this season. Ostapenko won her first WTA title, which wasn't a Grand Slam, which is some feat in itself, and dismissed world number 1 Garbine Muguruza fairly easily in Wuhan. That was Muguruza's first loss as the world number 1. But the way she fell ever so limply to Barty in the semi-finals in Wuhan kind of cost her the player of the fortnight title, which I'm sure will keep her up for many nights for months on end because it's really that important. Wuhan was Barty's first tournament back since a 3rd round US Open loss, which by the way came to eventual champion Sloane Stephens. And not only did she get her first top 10 win, but 3 top 10 wins in total and another top 20 win for good measure. Did she play her best tennis in the final? No, but throughout the fortnight she demonstrated exquisite shot-making ability. I've said of this girl so many times, she is the full package as far as shot selection and execution goes. And for someone who's only 5'5", she has a really good and versatile serve. It's clearly evident how doubles play has aided her singles game. Right now she probably needs to work more on her mentality and injecting more pace into her shots, because it was those 2 things that really let her down against Garcia, who was often stepping onto the front foot, dictating the rallies, using her serve, taking advantage of even Barty's slice, which is usually really good and really effective, wasn't really causing Garcia much trouble. Get some more power in her ground strokes and a stronger mentality for Barty and she will be formidable. It's all part of a continuing process, and Wuhan was definitely a step in the right direction, and there is still some time this season for her to make more of a move. ATP Player of the Fortnight this time goes to Domination, who is at a career-high ranking of number 36 after going all the way to his maiden title at the St. Petersburg Open and backing it up with a semi-final run in Shenzhen the following week. He went down to Grigor Dimitrov in 3 sets at the China Open this week, but only after he'd won his first 8 matches since the US Open. His last of these wins was a straight sets defeat of top seed Alexander Zverev in the Shenzhen quarterfinals, and he has climbed 20 spots in the rankings since the beginning of the US Open. Junho is a counterpuncher. He has no particularly distinct weapons that scream danger, but he is a hard worker. He has the ability to be a creative player, not afraid to try different tactics to see what works. What's impressive to me is that he's 25, not young in tennis terms, but he's still pushing away and grinding away with the impression that he believes he can be a lot higher in the rankings than he is now. June was not even 5 months ago, and at one point during that month he was ranked as low as number 92 in the world. He's played several challenger events this year, including some in the build-up to Wimbledon. At the moment, the main interest is in either players who can qualify for London or players who can be a force in the new year, and the attitude with which Junho is playing suggests that he can be someone we can look at in the new year to cause a few upsets and do some damage. We'll hold the roundup there for now to keep things short so that we can focus on the interesting things this week and a lot of what is to come as well. Right now in Beijing, the China Open is underway. For the women, this is the final Premier Mandatory event of the year already. And for the men, it is one of 2 500 events taking place this week. The other is the Japan Open in Tokyo. With the WTA season drawing to a close and such a high-profile event on right now, the women are very much in the spotlight this week. It's a compulsory event for those eligible. Venus Williams was the highest-ranked player absent with injury, but already the top seeds have been dropping like flies. I know some of you like that quote. Garbiñe Muguruza backed out of a first-round slaughtering at the hands of Barbara Strycova with injury/illness, and Johanna Konta fell in shocking speed to Monica Niculescu, and that was the Romanian's first top 10 win of the year. This is even without mentioning Angelique Kerber's straight sets loss to Alizé Cornet in round 2, which was something of an expected occurrence after her form this season. The German began the year at world number 1, but is down to world number 12 after only just edging past Serena Williams in 2017 ranking points gained. To put that into perspective, Serena hasn't played since January and played just 2 tournaments in total. In one of those tournaments, she lost in round 2. But there are some more significant losing runs than Kerber's right now, what with Singapore places still on the line. Already qualified for the Elite 8 player field at the grand finale of the season, which is a tournament for the best 8 of the year who have garnered the most ranking points, are Garbiñe Muguruza, Karolina Pliskova, Simona Halep, Elina Svitolina, Caroline Wozniacki, Venus Williams, and more recently, Yelena Ostapenko. This means the 8th spot is currently a toss-up between, in this order, Johanna Konta, Kristina Mladenovic, Caroline Garcia, and Svetlana Kuznetsova. This doesn't suggest that the final completed field is going to be bursting at the seams with quality. Konta is on a 5-match losing streak, and Mladenovic, who is playing so impressively and perhaps overconfidently earlier on in the season, is on a diabolical 16-set losing run. Fun times. Also, some of you may remember that Konta travelled to Singapore last season only to be shut out of the field when Kuznetsova nabbed her place with some late good results. So if she narrowly misses out again, there might be tears. And here's a stat for you. None of the semi-finalists from last year will be participating at this year's tournament. It just shows how up in the air things are right now. Over with the men, things are a little messy too, as Stan Wawrinka and Novak Djokovic, ranked 5th and 9th in the race to London respectively, are both out for the rest of the season with injury. This means that giant-slaying Sam Querrey, did you ever think we would be calling him that, and US Open finalist Kevin Anderson, ditto, are in unofficial 8th and 9th place right now. Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer are still the only 2 men to have officially qualified, which kind of tells the story of the season of incessant injuries, missed opportunities, and the utter domination of 2 all-time greats. Nadal will probably be thankful that this is the case, as he is looking a little more fatigued as the season wears on. It may have been an exhibition, but his first ever loss to John Isner at the Laver Cup, coming in straight sets, was still very unexpected, especially given that if he had won it, he would have won the tie for Team Europe. And then he had to save too much points to survive Lucas Pouille in his Beijing opener. The Spaniard even acknowledged that Pouille had a pretty easy forehand beforehand on one of these match points. But Nadal is renowned for his fight, for his tenacity, and he was really consistent and calm in the rallies. He was pushed onto the back foot a lot during that match, but he just stayed calm, he played his game, and waited for his opportunity, and he took it when it came. I think this win will be particularly encouraging because Pui might not be in great form right now. Okay, enough with the cliches. He isn't in great form right now. But Pui won their blockbuster 5-set match in New York last season, which ended in a final set tiebreak. This is something of revenge for Nadal and yet another confidence boost that he can now win the matches that he was losing a couple of seasons ago. Alexander Zverev and Dominic Thiem have been the two leaders of the next generation for some time. Thiem's 23-24 now, so I'm not sure if he can really be classed in that category anymore, but he was recently, so we're going with it. So yeah, they've been really leading the younger players as far as consistency goes for a while now, and they are on the heels of the two leaders of the golden era in the race to London at 3rd and 4th place respectively. Zverev is still alive in Beijing, but Thiem lost his Tokyo opener to America's Steve Johnson. Still, given the state of the rest of the tour, it's difficult to imagine he won't qualify unless he loses every single match he plays for the rest of the season. Of the other players currently ranked in the unofficial top 8 of the race, Grigor Dimitrov, Marin Cilic, Pablo Carreño Busta and Sam Querrey have all been in action this week. Carreño Busta lost his opener in Beijing and Querrey his in Tokyo, but Cilic is still alive in Tokyo and Dimitrov in Beijing. He just got a pretty big win over Juan Martín del Potro in straight sets. Obviously, Del Potro made that great US Open run. Dimitrov played with a lot of fire at the beginning of the season, ebbed towards the middle. If he can bring it back at the end, then he could actually do some damage at the Tour Finals. There's only roughly 1,000 ranking points between the players in unofficial 6th and 13th place in the race. So when you consider that we still have 2 Masters 1000 events to come and a couple of 500 events as well, things are really pretty open. In fact, you are not going to see this open a race for London in the coming years, I don't think, for some time, until the Big Four have gone, because it's just so unusual not to have Djokovic there, not to have Murray there, not to have Wawrinka there. These are the players that are usually in contention. Nishikori as well, out with injury. Other players, Berdych, Tsonga, not in form. It would take us a long time to assess the individual chances of every player still in running for the finals, both on the side of the WTA and the ATP. But please comment and let me know who you think will make the fields. A few people have asked me if I will make predictions, but if you give me your predictions, I will share my thoughts with you. So please leave a comment, let me know. And also let me know what your ideal 8-player lineup would be on both tours. Don't forget to share if you enjoyed the video. Follow me on social media. I'll keep you updated with when I'm going to upload next. Hopefully I'll be uploading again next week. We have the Shanghai Masters coming up for the men, which is the big tournament. So thank you for your patience and your support and for watching, and I will see you next time.